Flood repeat for some Ottawa residents. Homeowners report being hit twice in 2 separate months, but barely 6 weeks apart. Good afternoon. This is CTV News at 5. I'm Stefan. Today is said to be bringing feelings of deja vu for some Ottawa residents, and it comes after heavy rain soaked parts of the capital yesterday, flooding some basements and sending water rushing into the streets. Now we're hearing of intensified and renewed calls for the city to improve stormwater infrastructure. CTV's Austin Lee is joining us live with more on this. Austin.
Well, Stefan, the rain that we saw yesterday wasn't nearly as bad as the Canada Day storm, but it came as many had just finished cleaning up their flooded homes. Some are now taking it upon themselves to prevent future flood damage, and they're calling for the city to help.
No, you're right. There's nothing going down here.
This is a look at Connaught Avenue in the city's west end, water rushing into the street. Councillor Lane Johnson says around 60 people that she's heard of have called 311 to report basement flooding yesterday. In Shawville, ping-pong-sized hail damaged crops at Little Red Wagon Winery. Back in the city, Ivan Potts rushed to clear out a culvert near his home. It's a culvert he's cleared out about half a dozen times now, and he says he wants the city to change the way it works.
It was flowing very heavily, and there was about 4 or 5 of those boards jammed right up on the back of that grill, blocking the water from coming out. So it really needs to be on a hinge system, something, you know, that can open itself up when it blocks instead of going backwards and into homes.
Now, we asked the city if there are any plans to upgrade culverts in problem areas like the one in Bayshore, but we did not receive a response before airtime. Some Ottawa councillors are also calling on the city to take a closer look at stormwater management infrastructure. Now, we also saw sections of Highway 417 that were submerged in water during yesterday's afternoon commute. Environment Canada says more than 23 millimeters of rain was recorded at the Ottawa airport yesterday, but of course, it all fell very fast, leading to all of that localized flooding. Stefan.
All right, and the Queensway in the West End was certainly something as well. CTV's Austin Lee reporting live for us. Thank you, Austin. In the meantime, Environment Canada says it's making improvements to the weather alert system after widespread reports of fatigue and feelings of undue panic from false alarms.
Adding these tools really helps in order to make the messaging more effective and timely, and make sure that people are trusting the systems.
In the past, Environment Canada seemingly defended the alert system with suggestions of a better safe than sorry approach. But now, with many finding it to be too much, the goal is said to be precision. Though things like tornadoes can change directions quickly, there's sophisticated technology to ensure more people aren't being put on notice than necessary. The new system launched this week. Turning to an extreme natural disaster overseas now that's hurting the hearts of people here in Ottawa. There is now a desperate search for survivors in Colombia after a powerful 7.4 magnitude earthquake that claimed hundreds of lives yesterday morning. CTV's Caitlin Wilson is here with more on how Ottawa's Colombian community is mobilizing to send aid. Caitlin.
Stefan, more than 200 people have been killed with thousands more missing as rescue crews continue to comb through the rubble, while those here are doing what they can to help. Western Colombia Monday morning, reducing buildings to rubble, sending people running for safety. Thousands of kilometers away in Manotick, the owners of Encanto Cafe say their family members are safe, but their homes have been destroyed. They, along with the Colombian-Canadian community of Ottawa and Gatineau, are raising money for food, shelter, and other emergency assistance. The cafe is also collecting donations.
At least all our family is okay. They don't have a house anymore, but at least they are okay. But I have some friends that they cannot find their parents or their families.
This is a call for all cultures living here in Canada. Even if you can donate $10, trust me, at this moment, every dollar is very important.
Encanto Cafe says it's also looking for a partner organization to help with getting the donations to Colombia. They're looking for things like non-perishable food items and medical supplies. More information can be found on our website, ctvnewsottawa.ca. Stefan?
All right, thank you for this. CTV's Caitlin Wilson reporting live for us. Back here at home, provincial officials say the wildfire situation in our province is improving.
Although we continue to see an active fire season here across Ontario, we are making steady progress with fewer fires burning out of control and more people returning to their communities.
Officials say there are 152 active wildfires burning in the province. 12 of them are not under control. Of the 14 communities that have been evacuated, 6 have been allowed to return home and 1 is in the process of returning. Ontario Provincial Police are looking for a truck driver after a backhoe being hauled by a truck hit a bridge on Highway 417. It happened yesterday around 6:40 p.m. in the eastbound lanes of the highway at Eagleston Road. Police shared this photo of the suspect vehicle. The driver is asked to contact police, as is anyone who witnessed the incident or has dash cam footage. There are some new developments in the trade talks between Canada and the United States. CTV News has learned that trade representatives from both countries are aiming to present the layout of a trade deal to the U.S. president before the August 19th deadline for more U.S. tariffs.
Minister, how close are we to a deal?
Bonjour. Hello. We know we're not going to discuss those things.
But how confident are you the way that the conversations
Mike,
are going?
Full points for trying. You're outside in the Washington heat in the summer.
I know, but a lot of Canadians are wondering. A lot of Canadians are wondering how close you are.
We'll have something to say when the moment's right.
Federal Trade Minister Dominic LeBlanc held meetings at the office of the U.S. Trade Representative today. It's part of a string of meetings between Canadian and U.S. officials in the lead-up to the August 19th deadline, where Washington is threatening to slap a new 50% levy on a wide range of Canadian products, from wine to hockey sticks and cement. Ahead of the new school year, an urgent plea today from an organization providing backpacks and school supplies to students in need. Volunteers packing thousands of backpacks with essential school supplies today at Carlingwood Shopping Centre. The Caring and Sharing Exchange says there are about 2,000 short, with a wait list of registered kids. The rising cost of living hitting local families hard.
We're getting to a point now where we really need to rally to the community to make up this shortfall that we have.
There's a big expectation in the classroom, and it can be really hard to have everything that they need. So it's important that things like this are made available so that kids have access to the things that they need to be successful for a good school year.
The Caring and Sharing Exchange is also hosting a Stuff the Bus event at Carlingwood on August 20th. A link to donate is available on our website.
No, you're right. There's nothing going down here.
Coming up on CTV News at 5, does Ottawa have a stormwater infrastructure problem? We'll go off script with CFRA's Christy Cameron. And time now for our first look at the forecast. Right now outside it feels like 29 degrees. The real temperature is 26 degrees. A few clouds in the sky, but certainly an improvement from the conditions we saw yesterday. Very similar conditions right across the board. But if you're looking towards the east of us in Cornwall, slightly cooler, 24 degrees. But factor in that humidity, it could actually feel warmer. Very similar right along the St. Lawrence Seaway. Taking a look in Maniwaki, 25 degrees right now. And again, high 20s and mid-20s right across the region. Here's what you need to know. Parliament Hill Yoga is back tomorrow on the lawn of Parliament Hill, weather permitting. Bring your yoga mat and water bottle for an hour-long session guided by an instructor. It gets underway at noon. And taking a live look at the Queensway this hour, Bayswater is seeing some congestion. Things are slow going the westbound lanes at Parkdale. Also some slowdowns in the eastbound lanes at Parkdale, but flowing quicker than the westbound. You can see that Woodruff is flowing well if you are headed eastbound this hour. In Pinecrest, there's some traffic volume, but things are moving fairly well at this hour. We'll be right back. Taking a closer look now at our top story for today, reports of flooding in parts of Ottawa's West End following another severe storm that soaked parts of the city, and concerns are being raised over if the city's infrastructure is doing what it should. CFRA's Christy Cameron is here now to help us go off script. Christy.
Well, unfortunately, Stefan, for some parts of people in West Ottawa, it felt kind of like Groundhog Day yesterday. There was a lot of intense rain, not as much as Canada Day, but then flooded streets and bubbling sewers. And then for some, water in basements again. And the thing about this is I question, why is that happening? Yes, yesterday we did have pretty fierce rainfall, and we had some flooding on the Queensway. But when you look at the numbers, it was not as extreme as Canada Day, not even close. Yesterday we had about 24 millimeters of rain. On Canada Day in parts of Western Ottawa, we had 167. So that doesn't really make any sense, and it raises some real questions, I think, about the city's infrastructure. We have obviously some systemic issues at play here. I chatted earlier in the show with City Councillor Sean Devine. He represents Knoxdale, Maryville, one of the wards that, again, had flooded basements today. And he said not every flooding situation is the same. Some are sewers, some are creeks in Ottawa. Obviously, it's different depending on where you live. But he agreed with me that some of Ottawa's older neighborhoods need upgrading. And he said Mother Nature is now moving faster than government. Take a listen.
At the same time, we cannot increase the size and capacity of every sewer and water main in the city. That would be an impossible bill to pay.
Now, Chrissy, I was listening to that interview, an impossible bill to pay, but certainly this can't keep happening as much homeowners are losing out on this. I believe Councillor Kavanagh also confirmed with you that maybe a handful of calls or emails came into her inbox from people that had already been hit on Canada Day and now were hit again, even though maybe less severe, but still, that's damage done.
Right, so we're talking about Bay Ward in the case of Teresa Kavanagh, Knoxdale, Maryville, and also I had Lane Johnson on the show, so College Ward. And I think the question is, if you live in one of those neighborhoods where you've been hit, not once now, but twice, is how are we going to fix this? Because there's a huge push on for development right now in the city of Ottawa that we want to build, but we cannot do that in these older neighborhoods if the sewer system is from the 1950s or 1960s or 1970s. Like, to me, it feels like we're approving developments and we're not paying attention. We've got systemic issues at play here, and it needs to be investigated and repaired.
And if we don't have the money, I believe Councillor Devine also mentioned reallocating funds in that interview.
or a levy. I mean, I'm not cheerleading for it, but
here we go.
have to have the conversation for sure.
Thank you, Chris. You can join the conversation and leave a comment through the Talkback feature on the iHeartRadio app. You can listen live to Christy Cameron on News Talk 580 CFRA weekdays from 2 to 6. And now watch Christy's segments anytime on YouTube. Subscribe to the News Talk 580 CFRA channel.
I've been dreaming about it for over 20 years. So, yeah, it's an incredible feeling.
Coming up on CTV News at 5, an Ottawa golfer is headed for the PGA Tour, winning a major Canadian championship for the second consecutive year. Stay with us for more on that. Here's what else you need to know. Check out Grammy Award-winning musical artist Bonnie Raitt in the capital this week. She's performing at the National Arts Centre this Thursday. Showtime is 7:30 p.m. Visit the NAC's website for tickets. Coming up later tonight on CTV after the 6 o'clock news, E-Talk starts at 7. Then you can watch 3 episodes of The Big Bang Theory starting at 7:30. The Amazing Race Canada is on at 9, and back-to-back episodes of Children Ruin Everything begin at 10. Now let's take another look at the weather forecast. Here's a live look through our Centennial Glass Sky Cam. It is 26 degrees outside right now. Slight humidity to factor in there, making it feel closer to 30. Taking a look at our satellite radar picture, fairly clear conditions, a few clouds here and there, but mostly sunny skies throughout the day. And taking a look at our current conditions right around the region, overnight we will be seeing a low of 13 degrees here in the capital. Clear skies tomorrow morning, some increasing cloudiness in the morning that could bring afternoon showers, but we'll talk about that in a bit. 25 degrees for the daytime high tomorrow in the valley, very similar. A degree cooler or warmer overnight at 14 degrees, and 2 degrees cooler for the daytime high at 23 degrees. Partly cloudy skies overnight, mostly cloudy tomorrow morning. Along the Seaway, clear overnight, 16 degrees for that overnight low, mostly sunny to kick things off tomorrow morning, and a high of 25 degrees. Let's take a look now at that 5-day forecast. So that 40% chance of showers that you're seeing on your screen right now, we're not expecting that until the afternoon, probably mid-afternoon before that begins. And then following that, there is right now, for now, that could change, a slight risk of a thunderstorm. Again, 25 degrees for that daytime high, 14 degrees overnight, 23 on Thursday with a chance of showers, 21 on Friday, and the sun is coming out for Saturday as well with a high of 25. In today's edition of Simply Ottawa, a golfer from Ottawa is now one of the best in the country after winning back-to-back Canadian PGA championships. But it was the manner in which Craig Stefan won that made the victory all the more special. CTV's Dylan Dyson has the story.
On the tee, your 2024 zone champion and 2 times PGA of Canada champion from the bunker, Craig Stefan.
Ottawa's Craig Stefan is one of the best Canadian golfers teeing it up. The 29-year-old Indigenous golfer captured his second consecutive Canadian PGA Championship last week, shooting a course record score of 61.
To put my name as the only back-to-back winner of the Canadian PGA Championship with George Knudson, who's just a Canadian golf legend, yeah, incredible.
The win also grants Stefan the opportunity to play in next year's RBC Canadian Open on the PGA Tour.
I've been dreaming about it for over 20 years, so yeah, it's an incredible feeling.
By his side through every round, ready with a fist bump, his caddy, Luc Lafrance. The two met at the bunker in the Glebe, where Stefan teaches.
They took me in when I was at my lowest and gave me a shot to rehab and do the things that I needed to do, and I can't thank them enough. And yeah, now we're gonna go play on the PGA Tour.
When he's dialed in and he's got so much talent and he's got so much determination that he really stepped above everybody else in the field.
But maybe the most meaningful part of Stefan's national championship win was that it came at St. Eugene Golf Resort in Cranbrook, BC, a former residential school site.
It's tough. I mean, as much as we have to, look at the past, we've got to learn from it too and move forward together. So, to those Indigenous youth, put your head down, work hard, and it is possible. And we're going to do it.
Dylan Dyson, CTV News.
Beautiful message and wonderful achievement, and we want to hear your stories of people doing good, spreading joy, making a difference, or marking a notable achievement like Craig Stefan did. We'll be showcasing stories that touch our hearts and make us proud of our city, simply Ottawa. You can send your story ideas to ottawanews@ctv.ca. Coming up on CTV News at 5, a popular restaurant franchise opens a location in Westboro, and clients brought their appetites for day one. Here's what else you need to know. The Russell Agricultural Fair is happening this week from August 13th to 16th. There's a Midway truck pull, educational barn area, and more. Check out their website for a full schedule. If you need gas tonight, one of today's cheapest gas prices can be found at the Petro-Canada on Hazeldean Road in the Stittsville area. Regular gas there tonight is going for 155.9 cents a liter. Here's another live check on the traffic. St. Laurent is moving well in both directions this hour. Riverside also flowing smoothly. The heaviest points are in the West End. Parkdale seeing some slowdowns in both directions, and Pinecrest very backed up in the westbound lanes. You're watching CTV News at 5.
On Sunday, October 4th, take part in CHEO's RBC Race for the Kids. Be part of an unforgettable day as we come together to support CHEO's largest redevelopment campaign ever. Take on the 5K, 10K all-terrain, or 2K accessible family fun run at Wesley Clover Parks. Join the movement. Support a great cause. Register today. r4tk.cheofoundation.com.
Get the latest live local breaking news. Sign up now for our morning and evening CTV News Ottawa newsletter. The best local content from CTV News, Your Morning Ottawa, and News Talk 580 CFRA. Get it all in one place. Sign up now at ctvnewsottawa.ca. The CTV News Ottawa newsletter is brought to you in part by CAA Business.
Here's another live look through our Centennial Glass Sky Cam. The current temperature, 26 degrees. And time now for a look ahead to CTV News at 6. Here's Patricia Bull.
Thanks, Steph. Here's what we're working on for 6 o'clock.
And there was about 4 or 5 of those boards jammed right up on the back of that grill, blocking the water from coming out.
Some Ottawa residents are reporting flooding in their basements after another intense summer storm yesterday hammered parts of the capital.
A lot of Canadians are wondering. How close you are.
We'll have something to say when the moment's right.
New details on the trade talks between Canada and the U.S., including a plan to present Donald Trump with the layout of a deal before the next tariffs are set to hit. And OC Transpo hosts a town hall meeting this evening, answering questions and hearing concerns from commuters. The transit agency is expecting 65,000 extra weekly passenger trips as federal public servants return to the office 4 days a week. We hear from OC Transpo boss Rick Leary. All of that and more is coming up tonight on CTV News at 6. That's right after the early edition of CTV National News with Sandy Ronaldo at 5:30. Steph.
Thank you, Patricia. Now the final 5 other stories we're following today. Drivers should fill up their tanks tonight if they can, with gas prices expected to jump. Oil prices increased yesterday due to uncertainty in the Middle East conflict. As a result, prices at the pump will increase about 6 cents a litre tomorrow. That will bring the average price here in Ottawa to about $1.69. Stittsville's Carp Road Flea Market is closing its doors this fall after more than 50 years in business. The flea market is typically open every Sunday. In a social media post, officials say the locally owned and operated market is closing due to many reasons. Indoor vendors will be on the site every Sunday until the end of September. The outdoor market will remain open until the end of October. A new report finds vehicle thefts are down across the country. The report from the anti-fraud group Equité Association says the number of auto thefts over the first half of this year was down 10% compared to the same period last year. It says that marks a return to pre-pandemic levels. The Olive Garden restaurant is now officially open in the Westboro area. The restaurant welcomed its first customers starting at 11 o'clock this morning. Dozens of people lined up to be among the first through the doors. The restaurant's website says it's not accepting reservations for now and will welcome guests on a first-come, first-served basis. It's located on Kirkwood Avenue in the Hampton Park Plaza. The Wildflowers will be headlining the first show at Ottawa's newest music venue next week. History Ottawa will open August 20th. The 2,000-person concert venue is located in the former Chapters building on Rideau Street. Many looking forward to that. That is CTV News at 5. I'm Stefan Keys. Be sure to join Patricia Bull for CTV News at 6. And the early edition of National starts right now. Thanks for watching, everyone.